India has just overtaken Japan to become the fourth largest economy in the world. By now, you all know this is not a dream, this is true. Here is the recent IMF data that shows the numbers. It sounds like a big deal, right? Indeed, it sounds great. But can you feel, being a citizen, that your nation has been developed this much to jump over a developed nation's economy? Are you earning more now suddenly? Have your lifestyle got better? At least you bought the car you dreamed of. No? Then who is this nation if not us? What is this development without its citizens? What does development mean if the average Indian is not richer than the average Japanese? Let me tell you, not even closer. Let's understand the real story behind this GDP leap. Watch this video till the end. We will analyze here numbers associated to our country with respect to GDP, per capita GDP, purchasing power parity. We will have a little touch on wealth and income distribution and a bit of comparison with Japan. First, let us understand what GDP means. In very straightforward way, GDP means gross domestic product, the total value of goods and services produced in a country in a year. That means, suppose if India produces software, food, clothes, buildings and everything out there worth 300 lakh crore rupees in a year, that is our GDP. This clearly indicates the more your country produces, the bigger your GDP. But here is the catch. GDP is a big number. It just draws an overall picture of a nation's goods and services produced in a particular timeline. It does not tell you how that wealth is shared among the people. So, now let's talk about the sharing mechanism, that is per capita GDP. This means GDP divided by the number of people. So, if 10 people make 1000 rupees, each one makes 100 rupees. But if 100 people make 1000 rupees, each person gets just 10 rupees. Forget GDP, country and big terms like that. Think of a family. Suppose a small family has two members and each of them earns rupees 50,000 a month. Okay, so this family's monthly income is 1 lakh. Again, take another family that has 10 members and each of them earns 20,000 a month. So this family is earning 2 lakhs per month overall. So now the question is, who is richer? See, the bigger family earns more overall, even double than the smaller one. But each person gets only 20,000, whereas the first family earns less, but each person gets 50,000. You see the difference? That is the difference between total GDP and per capita GDP. The bigger family may have more income overall, but does this mean they have a better lifestyle than the smaller one? Or, in a greater sense, are they economically stable than the smaller one? We all know the answer by now. India is like the bigger family, big income but way more mouths to feed. India has a huge GDP, but also 140 crore people. So our per capita GDP is just around 2,800 US dollar, whereas Japan's GDP is a bit smaller than India, but with just 12.5 crore people, their per capita GDP is 35,000 US dollar. Okay, this per capita GDP was about an ideal equitable society where everyone gets equal. But in reality, this definitely does not work this way. The average per capita differs because some people get more and some get less. Here comes the distribution mechanism among people. We will now see how income and wealth is distributed in India. That will give us the picture of share that goes to the common people other than the top billionaires and millionaires in a country. The Oxfam report says our top 10% rich people is earning over 57% of national income, where the bottom 50% is earning just 15% of it. And you will be even more shocked by the wealth distribution. India's 40% wealth is concentrated within just 1% of its people, and the bottom 50% of the population holds only 3% of our total wealth. Can you believe? If we think of a if we think of 100 rupees wealth in an area of 100 people, then only one person has 40 rupees and the bottom 50 people have only 3 rupees. Can you see the inequality? And this same report says that Japan's income distribution is far more equitable than many other industrialized countries. You still think this country is doing well with respect to Japan? And if you still do, let me break you some more numbers of India and Japan beyond GDP. First, the passport index that shows a bit of our diplomatic efficiency. India ranks 85 in Henley's passport index, while Japan ranks just 2. Next come to Human Development Index. This index is prepared on the basis of a nation's quality of health, education and standard of living. Here India scores 0.685. That indicates India to be a developing nation. In the other hand, Japan scores 0.925. That means Japan is a developed nation. Also, in HDI report, India ranks 130 among 193 countries, where Japan is at number 20. Next is World Happiness Report. Here too India ranks 118 out of 147 countries, where Japan is at 55. Take the life expectancy. For Japan, average people's life expectancy is 84 years. In India, it's 70 years. Quality of healthcare. India spends just 2% of GDP on health, where Japan spends 10% of it. Take sanitation, urban planning, literacy, education. Everywhere Japan is leading. Okay, so we understood GDP and per capita GDP. But some people will here say India may earn less, but things are cheaper here, so life balances out. Right. That is where purchasing power parity, that is PPP, comes in. The PPP tells us how much can your money actually buy in your country. Let us take an example. Suppose you earn 500 rupees in India and someone in America earns 10 US dollar. Okay. Now the 500 rupees is of around $6 value. So clearly the American is earning more. Now let's say a plate of food in India costs 50 rupees and in America it costs $5. That means you can buy 10 plates of that food in India where they can buy just 2 plates in America. Even though they earn more, things are expensive there. So your 500 rupee can do more in India. But things are not this easy. Though cheaper, in real scenario, the income is way less to compete with even some underdeveloped nation. Here is the real twist. When we compare countries by PPP, India still comes behind many smaller or poorer looking countries like Vietnam, Philippines, or even Sri Lanka, and ranks much lower than Japan. Because even with cheap prices, our incomes are too low. So yes, PPP helps us look better than just raw per capita GDP, but it still shows we have a long way to go to reach Japan or even Malaysia. Listen, we are a nation of 141 crore people with a 3.2 million square kilometer land. And you will be hopeful to know among them 48% of our population is of working age group. That is quite impressive. But the real side is not at all. This 141 crore people's economy hit the ceiling of 4 trillion US dollar, whereas a 12 crores nation that is even less than one tenth of ours did the same. So what did we lack? The question here is where not. Think about the scenarios. Jobs for youth, quality of education, air quality, better cities, gender equality, healthcare. Think how these scenarios are in your surroundings. Then you will clearly know why the overall GDP is not much. You will know we have failed to convert this population into productive power. Human asset has remained just as theory.